Alright, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. Today we're just going to take a look at one of my snakes in the collection instead of one out in the wild. So I hope you'll enjoy. So you might notice there's been a few changes in the snake room, but today we're just going to focus in on this one. So what we have here are some animal plastics cages. These are 4 foot long by 2 foot deep by 1 foot tall. They hold humidity pretty well. There's some options for customization in there. Makes it real nice when you're working with a special species like what we have today. So here's just a quick scan of his cage. Nothing too special. But if you look closely, you might notice a few things I have going on in there. There's a whole lot of sphagnum moss in his substrate. It's got a lot of cork bark. Got a big old water dish. And it's got a nice plastic hide that I happen to know he is hanging out under. We'll see if he's in a good mood. And there he is. That is Soul, my northern white-lipped python, the Eopython d'Albertsi. Now there are actually 2 different types of white-lipped python out there. There's the northern, this guy, and then there's the southern, the Leopython horserae. Now, these guys, the northern variety, have quite a bit more gold coming up their side. They have quite a bit more yellow, and they stay quite a bit smaller. The southern is known as Leopython horserae. I do not own one. I wish I did. I wish I could show you one in person, but they are beautiful. They're almost a solid jet black or gray color with the same sort of iridescence you see here on this guy. Now, the horserays do get quite a bit larger, about 9 feet, whereas these guys, the Albertsi, the northerns, only get about maybe 6-7 feet long, and they tend to have a little bit worse of a disposition. Now, these guys are well known on social media for that beautiful iridescence that actually comes from microscopic structures inside of their scales that reflect the light and make them blue. Now, the northern white-lipped python, this one comes from the northern islands of New Guinea, whereas the horserae, the southern white-lipped python, you can actually find in southern New Guinea and all the way down into some islands in the very tip of Australia. So these guys are actually pretty cool. They're almost your all-terrain snake of New Guinea. They're actually found in places like streams, creeks, meadows, trees, pretty much everywhere. You wouldn't think that something like this that seems to stand out to us would do too well in nature, but they do. Now, unfortunately, these guys are horribly difficult to breed in captivity, so quite a few of them do end up getting taken out of nature. I'm pretty sure this guy was wild caught or quote-unquote farm bred, which really just means nothing. It means someone went out on their backyard and their property and caught one as a baby, but we won't get into that. Now, these guys, the northerns, are actually quite well known for being a bit nippy, not having the best attitude you can find out of a pet snake. But this guy doesn't seem to give me too much guff. He usually just chills out once you get him out of the cage, but getting him out can be a bit of a dramatic experience. Now, these guys are pretty cool because they'll actually rear up just like a big old rat snake or something like that when they really want to let you know how they feel. So if you're familiar with snake care at all, you'll know it's pretty much the same as a rainbow boa that needs a little bit more heat. He's on a hot spot of about 87 degrees. He's got a ton of humidity in here. I don't know exactly what the gauge is, but you stick in your face in here, it feels like a rainforest, and that's just about good for me. Now here comes the fun part where I try to take him out for you and show you that these guys aren't all just horrible nippy monsters, but it takes a bit of finesse to wrangle them. Oh, he's already not happy with me. So, as you can see, the first couple of minutes of handling these guys can be pretty fun. And by fun, I mean stressful. These guys do have quite a vice grip on them, and that's usually a good way to tell when they're not feeling super comfortable. A lot of snakes will actually seize up and sort of squeeze onto you really tight if they're not super duper happy. This guy's not so bad though. And there he is. That's Sol. Hope you enjoyed this little introduction to one of my favorite pythons. He's hanging out with me for a little while longer. We'll put him back soon. If you have any questions for me or anything like that, feel free to comment.